Alright, hello and welcome back to a new video. It has been quite a while since I've unboxed a wrestling belt. Most people know, who watch my channel often, or keep up to date with it, know that 90% of my unboxings are wrestling belts. Particularly cheaply made ones from eBay, and I think I dabbled in Amazon a bit, but generally eBay. Now, unfortunately, I've never really been able to find any good belts on eBay that I can afford and are replicas or commemoratives at the best. So, this one I'm unboxing, if you haven't seen from the thumbnail and the title, this is from eBay. And this is not an official replica. This is a bootleg, cheaply made replica. Like, technically, I would call them replicas because they are metal and they are made similarly to a replica. The only difference being, compared to replicas, they're not official and they're nowhere near like the thickness and the details and the, that way. So, this can just rip off. Oh, no, maybe not. I did work today, and I got back pretty late because I did a late shift today. But when I woke up this morning, this had arrived. Now, I had to wake up and get ready for work, so I didn't get to unbox this till now. It's like nearly 9 o'clock at night. But now's a better time than any. So, the reason I bought this belt specifically was, I was literally in my head, like, I finally paid off my debts. I could finally afford to buy something, like, as most know, I showed off my, limited edition Halo Nerf Needler, and, I bought a VR and stuff. I wanted to give myself something that was kind of nostalgic to me, but also just something that would be something that I like and I would love to unbox. I knew I hadn't bought a wrestling belt in quite a while. I believe the last one I bought was the cheap eBay one of The Fiend, which, as most know, is probably one of the worst belts I've bought that's a bootleg, but I bought it anyway for its own reason. But basically the same as this one. I went on eBay, I looked at what belts I thought might be good, and I saw this one, and I knew it was a bootleg, but I got it for 3 reasons. Number one, it was fairly decently cheap. It was like $228 maybe, off the top of my head. I cannot remember. Yeah, it's something like that. I'll put the seller's name in the description of this video, so you'll obviously see, and obviously there'll be a picture in the, probably won't be the belt, it'll be just a WWE picture in the background, but regardless, I got it because of that. So for one, I got it because it was decent price. Second, you can see the belt it is. I'm rambling on so much, it's literally half unboxed here, I'm sorry, but regardless, I got it because it was cheap to me for the price. It looked better, just aesthetically and stuff like that, than most of the belts I've got. And also, I've bought a Universal one before, the Blue Universal, and that was like a main championship, I guess you could say. I did give that away as a present to someone. This is basically similar, except different, and you'll see why now. So, unboxing. Put this knife away before I injure myself. I say that, but then I look at this and see I might need to use it. Hold on. So right off the bat, as with most of these replica bootlegs, I think just saying replica bootleg is better than just saying bootleg, because I'm always someone who advocates, I'm not going to say I advocate bootleg cheap belts, but if you're someone who doesn't give a shit about legitness and you just want something to display or something to, afford, I think bootlegs aren't too bad. So I would consider them replicas in the way that they are made and they are metal, like a replica. It's just obviously they're not official. And if that's something that you don't like or that, then obviously you're entitled to think that way. And as such, you should probably, stick to real ones. But as someone who doesn't give a shit, I think this is decent. What the fuck is that? It's like a bug. Okay. So yeah, I should have said that. So it comes with replacement gems. Hopefully I don't need them. Now, here we go. It definitely looks and feels like a cheap one, but it does look good. Oh, actually, it looks very good. Right, without further ado, it's very stiff as well. But, first impressions, it looks decent. Right, here we go. Without further ado, I present to you, although a bootleg replica of the 40th anniversary WWE Championship. Now, for a obviously bootleg-wise, it is as flat as pancakes. You can definitely see there too, look at that, like that is pretty bad. But, it looks good. Like, the colours on it stick out so much more than on a black strap, which I've always gone on about that. I am not a fan of black on gold. The only one I would say I like is the NXT one, the NXT Championship. But even then, it went from being gold and silver on a black strap to now, as we know, it's got like colours on it. So I think that makes it look decent. But I'm not a huge fan of a lot of belts just being a black strap with gold plating. This, however, looks great. The way the strap looks, showing all the different WrestleManias. So, right off the bat, I will point this out because that's probably the most notable. As you can see here, one of the WrestleManias is like not even printed on properly. It looks terrible. But, as you can see, so you've got one of the WrestleMania logos, another, that looks terrible, I'm sorry. Then you've got, it keeps going, showing more, until you get to WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, and then I believe that's WrestleMania 40, yeah. Then, you've got the, now, here we go. So here's another example of a bootleg, if most don't know. So you can see the gold tip. Good gold tip, look at that, decent, custom. But it doesn't go all the way around like real replicas do. Same with the side plate. Side plate looks decent. They are not removable. You cannot remove these and replace them. Nor are they the right size, I don't think. And then, of course, again, the gems are just gems. They're probably not as good as the replicas. They're like cheap ones you could probably buy at like an arts and crafts store. But it doesn't look too bad. You've got the bars there still. They don't look too bad. It is very flat, as you can see. It's like 2 millimeters. I would, if there was a version that would let me increase the thickness, I've noticed that a lot of belts do give you the option to increase the thickness, and I think that's great. Like, I think increasing the thickness is not a good look. Not just a good look, but also gives it more weight and gives it more feeling, if that makes sense. So, and then, of course, the back of it just has WrestleMania 40 all over it. So, as you can see, there is no official stamp, no official replica, stamp like replicas and commemoratives and stuff have. But, the back looks cool. The colours on it look amazing. Gold looks good and shiny. There's typical, scratches and stuff because it is a bootleg made, but they're not, deep scratches that I'm noticing. There's nothing too deep, no damage-wise. I don't know if it's it feels a bit weird, the cut of the thing, it feels more rounded than it does, how this looks, but I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look. And then, of course, the side plates are, they're So the front is like bent and curved enough, but the side plates aren't that much, so that's why they have such a big like gap in between. But I am quite happy. The only thing I'm not happy with this about, officially, as I'm saying, is how you see so much blue on this side and it cuts off really badly right here. And then once you get to here, it's just covered in logos. But, again, it is a bootleg. It is cheap. That's the point. And for what it's worth, I do think it looks great. I have, let's see, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, out of the 9 belts I have on my wall up there, 4 are cheap eBay / Amazon ones, just like this. One's a replica from the WWE shop, one's a commemorative from the WWE shop, one is a custom-made one, and I say that as in they still make it like a replica, more like this, but it's customized like the Australian Championship one. And then 2 are from websites. One is from United Belts, and it's flat and probably not the greatest, but you again customizable, and it looks great, and I think it's worth the money. And then one from Trophy Smack, which I think is probably the best custom belt I've got, because it's got so much color and custom options, and it looks huge. It's bigger than all the belts I have here. So this is my favorite looking bootleg replica, in my opinion. Definitely my favorite looking. The colors on this are fucking amazing, honestly. So I'm going to sit here and say absolutely this is one of my new favorite bootlegs. It is definitely worth it. The colors stick out so much. Again, only disappointing part is this side where the blue is not having, showing more blue compared to the rest. But again, it's how much you pay for, it's all that. It does look great in my opinion. So I'm going to see if I can put it on now. Just see how that feels. Excuse my big fat gut. So what is it? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's a 2x5 snap box, and this one's a 2x7 snap box. Now, yeah. Generally, the snap boxes on replica bootlegs are easy to put on, but this one's a little tricky, but screw it. So here it is. That looks great, in my opinion. Sorry my head's been cut off, but, that's just how it's going to be. But I think color, it just stands out so much because of the colors. And because of the logos. So I think that's perfect. Like, obviously, it doesn't stick out nearly as much as what an official replica does. Color-wise, this is perfection. I think it's perfect. So, yeah, and it feels great. It really does. So, yeah. Put that over my shoulder. So, this is the unofficial bootleg replica of the 40th anniversary limited edition. I think it was... So, they made 4. There was one which was the Winged Eagle. There was one that was the Big Eagle. There was one that was... I'm trying to remember what era, because there's the Winged Eagle, the Big Eagle. I think it was the Undisputed, maybe? I think they made one for. And then, of course, this is the modern era version. I have seen, like, the Winged Eagle one on eBay, and, I mean, I don't know if I would get it, but it is an option on there. Like, you could probably find ones like this for the other ones. And again, if you are a stickler or you just really would prefer an official replica, go ahead. So, of course, this is limited edition if it was official, unless you buy it off someone who's selling one, which they sometimes do, and sometimes for a lot more than it's worth. Generally, a normal replica would cost me around I think the last official replica I bought, which was the 24/7, cost me 580, but that was because it was on sale. It had a special discount, like a percentage off replicas. If I had have bought one of these, it would have cost me a lot more, because these in general, limited edition ones and stuff, sell for $1,000 almost, and that's before shipping, which for us in Australia, shipping's like $100-something. So a replica, that's why replicas cost so much, because in Australia you pay a bunch for the belt, which is like $400 or $500 for the belt alone. Then you have to pay 100-something shipping. So that's the main issue. And of course you could get discounted, but like 5% or 10% of a discount on what, $600-700 is still pretty high. So again, if you're someone who can afford to save up for that, or just wants to save up for that, all for it. I do want to do that eventually. I do have ideas to get a couple actual replicas again, but I wanted to buy something I knew would be quick and affordable, and that's why I got this. And I knew it would be one that I would be happy to keep up on the wall as a, bootleg. Like, these are just fun for me to collect. So yes, thank you for watching. I'm going to end the video now. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are. Let me know if you would like to see me buy more, because I honestly don't mind buying bootleg belts. I'm not going to buy one every single month like I was in the past year or so. But if there are ones on there that I do want to get, I might. I have considered buying a big eagle, but a thick-plated one, like 4mm or something. That's something I might consider in the future, because out of all the eras of belts of the main title, the big eagle was probably one of my favorites. But yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and I will see you whenever I do another video. So thank you and goodbye.